Welcome to Fulcrum, the platform where custom sheet metal fabricators come to plan, make, communicate, and track their work. Here at Fulcrum, we strongly believe that the next wave of manufacturing growth won't come through new machine technology, but will come from intelligent software automation. And that's what we're trying to do with Fulcrum. Here today, I'll do an end-to-end flow, starting with the sales workflow and handing off an order to production, to purchase planning and nest planning, auto-scheduling jobs, tracking and executing work on the shop floor, and then using all of the data collected to make better decisions and find opportunities for improvement in the future. We won't be able to go through everything in Fulcrum today, but by the end of this video, you should have a pretty good understanding of the types of problems Fulcrum is trying to solve. Let's start with the sales workflow. Here we're on the quote page where you can build and send quotes and enter valuable details that you'll later pass on to the production team. This page is designed to help you quote both quickly and accurately so you're communicating with customers in a timely manner while making sure that your quotes are still profitable for the business. As you can see, there are a lot of things here on the quote page, but the magic starts once you actually add an item. There are 3 ways to add an item on a quote. You can add a new item, an existing item, or make a copy of an existing item. Since a lot of the work you're doing is likely custom, let's look at adding a new item. For most Fulcrum users, a quote is based off of a drawing sent by their customers, so we've built a drawing importer that can read PDFs, CSVs, or images to import the bill of materials from the drawing. The drawings just need to have a table like this one with the BOM on them that the system can recognize and pull the information from. Just drag and drop the file into Fulcrum here, and Fulcrum parses the file and imports them in a ready-to-use format. This speeds up the process by making it so that you don't have to manually enter all of this information and helps you avoid any of the human error that may have come in that data entry process. If there's any important details missing from the file, Fulcrum will tell you where you need to input the information, so you can just do that. Here it's saying it's missing the description, so we can just add that, save, and create new items. Now we have the BOM and the drawing is automatically attached to the item. We need to add routing steps or operations. This is our BOM and routing editor. The BOM and routing is the foundation of the quote, containing setup, labor, and machine times, and material needs, which are combined to calculate the estimated cost for the job, as well as when your team can complete the job by. To add an operation, just click on the operation bar. This flyout will open, and you can add or drag and drop operations onto the material like this. In this example, we have a subassembly required for the job, so you can click on that item to assign operations to it. Select each operation to add setup, labor, and machine times. Let's add a fixed 10 minutes for setup and 5 minutes per unit on this welding operation. And all of those costs will roll up and calculate the unit costs and total costs for the item based on your hourly rates for those operations and cost of any materials. If we close out the BOM editor, we can see the cost breakdown, which helps you determine a fair price for the item. If you're doing any repeat or have similar work, it's even easier. Just click Add Item, search for the item name, click to add it to the quote, and make any adjustments as needed. If you have parts that are cut from plate or sheet, you can attach the DXF file for those parts on the item, and a soft nesting section will appear down in the bottom left. Here, Fulcrum will generate a nest for you, and it knows the weight and cost of raw materials, which combined with the nested file, give you material costs for each part. This updates the unit price so you can send more accurate quotes for nested parts to your customers without having to leave Fulcrum. Now that we have items with estimates of material needs and run times, Fulcrum gives you an estimate of when the order's production will be completed on the shop floor if you scheduled the job right now. This helps you take a more data-driven approach and can be more confident promising dates to customers and keep your on-time deliveries as high as possible, making sure those customer relationships stay strong. Once you've added any other files or information you need for the quote, Fulcrum generates a PDF for you ready to email to your customer, which you can send right out of Fulcrum. Once you've won the quote, the information carries over into a sales record we call a sales order. The sales order is now where anyone on the sales team can share any additional information or updates before sending to production. And if we flash forward, you can see order progress live as the job is completed on the shop floor, so you have real-time information to answer any questions from customers on the progress of their order. As you can see, there's a chat box here where you and other team members can ask questions or share updates on a particular order. Fulcrum is a collaborative platform enabling your team with things like chat, notifications, and alerts to work together and share valuable information while keeping notes associated with the order for future use. If we take a step back and look at the sales order grid, this is where you can see all of your customer orders and quickly look at important metrics like your customer distribution and the value of your sales orders over time, as well as the breakout of statuses. All of these visuals are interactive, so if you click on something, it will filter the line items below, so you can drill down further into what's being shown in the carts or on the key performance indicator or KPIs here at the top. Each of these statuses will update live as operators complete the work on the shop floor, so you can always see where your order is at. The handoff from sales to production is simple. Once you approve a sales order, it'll automatically create a job, carrying over all the details. So let's head over to the jobs grid. This page gives you a high-level overview of everything on the shop floor with live progress updates, just like the sales order grid. But it's meant to be the mission control of everything that's happening in the shop from a production standpoint right now. What parts are out there? Where are they in progress? When are they due? And are we going to be ahead of schedule or behind? So you can be proactive and address any problems quickly. For example, this job is running over estimate. You can click in and drill down on what's going wrong and see who may need help. Up here, you can see quick KPIs of the estimated versus actual costs live as operators complete the job. And down here on the left, you can see the live operation progress. Here you'll notice this job is way over estimate, so you can go and figure out what's the issue and find a solution. Fulcrum helps you know where to spend your energy to keep progress moving along and deliveries on time. If we go over to the job we created on the sales order, it's pending review. So a production manager can come in and review any details on the job before sending it out, like adding any revisions to the drawing, making edits to the bomber routing, or making adjustments to the timeline and priority. You'll also see all the materials you needed for the job down here. If you purchase materials to the job, you can just create purchase orders from here that can email out directly from Fulcrum. And then once you're ready, just approve and schedule the job. From here, the job kicks off a bunch of work in parallel: grouping work, purchasing, scheduling, and more. So first, nest planning. Sometimes you may want to group similar parts to increase efficiency on the shop floor, especially in the case of nesting parts for cutting operations. To help with this, Fulcrum has a nest planning feature that pulls all of the DXF files associated with the material and tells you what parts can be nested together, even across orders. Here you can look at due dates and select which parts you want to nest, and then Fulcrum will package those DXF nest files for you to download and nest in your nesting software. Once you're done nesting the parts there, you can just re-upload the nesting sheets back into Fulcrum. It will parse the document to pull the material usage per part, machine time per part, number of individual setups needed, which parts are located on each setup, and nest images, saving you time on data entry and setting you up for better costs later on. Okay, let's talk about purchase planning. Fulcrum helps your purchaser to be able to simplify purchasing and get a list of what needs to be ordered when to make sure jobs aren't waiting on the material to arrive. This is another engine doing a lot of math for you. It understands inventory on hand, aggregate needs for all of your orders, exactly when you need it, when it's scheduled, and when material is expected to arrive. With this filter, Fulcrum gives you purchasing recommendations based on all of those timing and demand details. This inventory is all live because of the interface we'll talk about later called job tracking, where operators are picking material on the shop floor. So this is going to be live and accurate and automatic information to help you make these purchasing decisions. Say, for example, you use a lot of this steel and you like to keep a minimum of 10 sheets on hand. You can see your expected inventory here over time with incoming demand and usage. So Fulcrum's showing you need to order this material now based on this incoming demand. So now this basically becomes a to-do list for all the materials you need to purchase. To create a PO, just click Start PO. And then purchase planning will highlight other materials that you could purchase from the same vendor. So you only have to send one PO, and then you can just move on to the next task. Let's go over to the auto schedule. This is where a lot of the magic happens in Fulcrum. We hear all the time how hard it is to schedule in a custom fabrication shop because you have changes all the time. What we're looking at here is each of these operations broken out to the corresponding machine or workstation and all of the jobs assigned to it in descending order of priority. The auto schedule is putting this together for you, checking a lot of variables like machine availability, machine capacity, and due dates to make sure you can get the most work out the door on time, even as there are changes. It's similar to Google Maps, where it's using live data to choose the fastest route to get to your destination, but changing if there's unexpected traffic or something that means that another route is faster. The schedule will also just adjust to the live information it's getting from the shop floor. For example, you may have thought job 113 was best to run on laser 1, but it looks like job 145 is running late, which is why it has this red outline on it. The auto schedule recognizes that there's capacity on laser 2 that can be used for job 113 and will shift the job over to laser 2 to make sure that the most work gets out the door on time as possible. If a customer calls and needs a job sooner than expected and you need to change the schedule, you can update the priority or due date directly on the card by clicking on them, and the schedule will reprioritize and adjust to the changes. This is the to-the-hour view of exactly what's happening when, but sometimes it's helpful to step back, zoom out, and see things on a more macro level to know where you may need to shift resources around. To do this, we've created the backlog view. Here you can look at the backlog of each department and see where you're full and where you have extra capacity. For example, here your bottleneck is in assembly, and that's going to cause orders to be late because there's just not enough people working on getting those orders done, but you have open capacity over here at the press break on the same day. So you may want to shift over some people to assembly for the day to keep things running smoothly and work getting done on time. This is just a simple way to help you understand the capacity of your shop and what adjustments you can make, or possibly even inform a new machine purchase if you're seeing you have a lot of capacity consistently taken up. Now let's look at the shop floor interface, which we call job tracking. This is where operators can go to see what to work on when, track times, and communicate. Many shops use job tracking on iPads or tablets, but others prefer desktops. It's really up to you. Since Fulcrum is cloud-based, the only requirement is you have a web browser. You can even use your phone. When an operator comes in for the day, they log in with their passcode and pull up the list of jobs to work on. This list will automatically change if there are any adjustments to the schedule. So the next job they work on is always at the top, and it's always the most important, keeping everybody working on the most important thing at all times. Once they're clocked in for the day, they just select the first job in the ready queue, which brings them into that job. Here they start the setup timer and review any details for the job. They can interact with 3D part files or drawings and pick any materials needed. When the operator picks these materials, I mentioned this earlier, but this automatically deducts from your inventory level in Fulcrum, so the rest of the team can get a live view of how much inventory you have in the warehouse. Once the job is all set up, the operator switches and starts the labor timer. These times feed back into the rest of Fulcrum, giving everyone live visibility into job progress from the sales order status page, which is giving you the information to answer customer questions, the auto schedule, which is adjusting to in-progress work, job costing, which live updates your actual costs in real time, and the customer portal, which you can give customers access to see the progress of their own orders. All of this information is keeping everyone on the same page and up to date, and gives you the live information you need to know what's actually going on in the shop without having to walk around the shop floor. In case of questions or issues the operators may be having, there are a few ways job tracking helps with this as well. Operators can chat with engineers, the production manager, or other team members with questions, share files, and even take pictures. This chat functionality is built throughout Fulcrum to help enable your teams to not only communicate with each other, but to have a historical record of any notes, confusion, or conversations around a job. This helps you capture valuable knowledge from more senior employees and see if there are any areas for improvement for future jobs. We've also created alerts, which allow you to send timely notifications to others to let them know something is wrong on the job and they need help. In the event that something goes wrong with the material, you can scrap the material and leave any reason necessary. This whole interface has been designed to be as intuitive as possible so anyone can use it. We have tons of users of differing ages and languages that we've continued to design this interface alongside. So you'll notice the necessities are very simple. A green play button starts the timer. Drawings they're used to seeing appear here automatically. There's also a slightly different view for nested operations. The nesting PDF you uploaded earlier groups the work for the operator here, where they follow the same basic steps. Start the timer, pick materials, and go to work. The nest images are pulled automatically from the PDF, and operators can pick materials here as well as make any notes of remnants. These remnants are tracked back in Fulcrum to be used at a later time. Once finished, operators complete the operation and all times are proportionally allocated back to the different jobs. Watch our nesting workflow video to get a little bit more detail on this. I'll link it in the description. When jobs are complete and ready to ship, they'll pop up in shipping automatically. On-time delivery is so important that you don't want to waste any time having a complete order sitting on the shelf. So we make it easy for your shipping department to see exactly what's ready to go out right now. Filter to ready to ship, then click into the shipment to see all the shipping information, print out a shipping label, and this pack list is telling you here are all the items that need to be packed for this order and the different locations where they're stored. As orders ship out, you obviously want to get paid for the order, so Fulcrum notifies your accounting team to invoice the order, keeping everyone in sync and cash flowing. Any invoice sent in Fulcrum will sync back and forth automatically with your accounting tool of choice, common ones being QuickBooks, NetSuite, Xero, Sage. There's even more. Next, let's look at using our report tools. As you know, there's a lot happening in your shop, and therefore there's a lot happening in Fulcrum. On average, shops using Fulcrum collect 3.4 times more data than their previous system, so naturally we want you to be able to use that data well. We've built live production reports to help you understand some of the most important metrics, like what is the value of the parts moving through your shop over a period of time, how long on average are jobs being worked on the shop floor, and how much of a machine's capacity are you using. If you want to create your own custom reports, you can do so using our report builder. Just choose a data set and you can manually build the visuals or use our AI assistant to create different charts. Just ask it a question and follow the prompts. Then choose the visualization that makes the most sense for what you want to analyze. You can export these reports to be shared or save them for future use. These reporting tools are designed to help you take a data-driven approach to decision-making and be able to make more confident choices for your company's future. In addition to what's inside of Fulcrum, you may want to use other software for other specific applications, but still have the data synced together. Fulcrum is built to work well with your other tools, with numerous integrations existing already to connect your most critical workflows and more to come. We also have an open API for anyone who's a little tech savvy and wants to build connections themselves. We want you to be able to use all the data collected in Fulcrum to your advantage, so this API is meant for you to be able to pull data out of Fulcrum into places where you can find even more efficiencies in your workflows and opportunities to grow your business. All right, let's recap. We covered the different ways to create quotes quickly, starting from pulling the bill of materials automatically from a drawing and quick nesting for material costs. We looked at a high-level overview of the shop's progress and saw ways to dig in and find any issues on the job. We walked through how Fulcrum helps you choose which parts to nest and which materials to purchase when, how the Autoschedule uses logic to reprioritize work, how job tracking helps operators know exactly what to work on and captures times and material consumption and then prompts a shipment. And we talked about how you can use all of the data in Fulcrum to make better decisions, including linking Fulcrum's data with your other tools. That was a lot, but there's still more to get into with inventory, quality control, customers, vendors, and other areas of Fulcrum. Schedule some time with a product expert. They'll be able to understand your business on a one-to-one level and then tailor a demo experience to you. In the meantime, leave any comments or questions down below and we'll make sure to get to them. Thanks for watching. This has been a high-level overview of Fulcrum. See you next time.